He cheated and mocked me. What happened next still shocks me. Trust and red flags. I'm 27 now, but when this started, I was 24 and convinced I had finally figured out what stability felt like. Not the boring kind. The safe kind. Ethan and I had been together a little over 3 years. We met the way a lot of people do now, through mutual friends, during a weekend birthday thing where nobody really wanted to be there except the host. I remember noticing him because he laughed too loud at jokes that weren't that funny, the kind of guy who wanted the room to know he was enjoying himself. Back then, I thought that confidence was attractive. He was older than me by 4 years, already established in his career, already past the phase of figuring himself out. At least, that's what he told me. He worked in marketing for a mid-sized firm downtown. I was finishing my degree and working part-time, still very much in the phase of learning who I was. Ethan liked that. Or at least, he liked the way it made him feel. In the beginning, he was attentive in a very specific way. Not overly romantic, not love-bombing. Just steady. Good morning texts. Random photos of his lunch. Calling me on his drive home. He remembered details, my favorite coffee order, the song I hated, the story about my mom grounding me for sneaking out in high school. When he moved into my apartment after about 1.5 years, it felt natural. Like progression, not pressure. Looking back, that's probably why the red flags were so easy to ignore. They didn't wave. They whispered. The first one was small. Almost stupid. He started teasing me more. Not playful teasing, the kind that feels like an inside joke, but little comments that landed just slightly wrong. "You're really wearing that?" he'd say, smiling like he was kidding. Or, "God, you're so sensitive," whenever I told him something hurt. He said it with a laugh, always a laugh, like the laugh was supposed to cancel out the words. I told myself he was just sarcastic. Everyone has flaws. The second red flag came disguised as honesty. One night, we were lying in bed, the room dark except for the glow of his phone. He was scrolling, smirking at something. "What?" I asked. He didn't look up. "Nothing. Just work drama." I rolled onto my side, facing him. "You've been really distant lately." That got his attention. He finally looked at me, eyebrows raised like I'd just accused him of something absurd. "Distant?" he repeated. "Babe, I live with you." "I know," I said carefully. "I just mean, you're always on your phone. And you've been staying late more." He sighed, dramatic, like I was exhausting. "You know I have a demanding job. I can't just clock out at 5 like you." That stung. He knew I was sensitive about still being in school. "I didn't mean it like that," I said. "I know," he replied quickly. Too quickly. "I'm just saying, you don't have to worry. I'm not going anywhere." At the time, that felt reassuring. Now, I realize I never said I was worried about him leaving. The third red flag came with a name. Lila. She started at his company around the beginning of spring. He mentioned her casually at first, the way you mention a new printer in the office. "New girl started today," he said one evening, tossing his keys onto the counter. "She's a lot." "A lot how?" I asked, stirring pasta on the stove. He shrugged. "Loud. Very confident. Thinks she knows everything already." I smiled. "Sounds like you." He laughed, genuinely. "Yeah, actually. For a while, that was it. Just a name that popped up here and there. Lila said this. Lila messed up that. Lila wore something inappropriate to a meeting. Then her name started showing up in other places. On his phone. Not directly. Not obviously. But I'd catch glimpses of notifications lighting up the screen when he left it face down on the table. The name Lila M flashing for half a second before disappearing. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to be that girlfriend. But something in my chest tightened every time. One night, about 6 months after she started, Ethan came home later than usual. It was almost 10. He smelled like cologne that wasn't his. "You shower at work?" I asked lightly. He paused. Just for a fraction of a second. "Yeah. Gym downstairs." "Oh," I said. "Didn't know you went." "Started recently," he replied, already walking past me toward the bedroom. That was new. Later, as we were getting ready for bed, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. He reached for it too fast, knocking it onto the floor. "Damn it," he muttered. I picked it up before he could. The screen was still lit. Lila M, still laughing about today, smiley face emoji. My heart thudded. He took the phone from my hand. "It's nothing." You seem to text her a lot, I said, keeping my voice calm. He scoffed. You're reading my notifications now? I just saw it, I replied. I'm not accusing you of anything. I just. She's a coworker, he interrupted. We joke around. That's it. The way he said it, sharp, irritated, made me feel like I'd crossed a line. Okay, I said quietly. He softened immediately. Hey. I didn't mean to snap. I'm just tired. Work's been insane. He kissed my forehead, like that was supposed to erase the moment. I let it. The thing about Ethan was that he knew how to reset the mood. He knew exactly when to pull back, when to give just enough affection to keep me steady. So when he suggested we take a weekend trip a few weeks later, I took it as a sign I'd been overthinking. We went to a small coastal town, stayed in a cheap Airbnb with creaky floors and an ocean view you had to lean sideways to see. For 2 days, it felt like old times. He held my hand. He took pictures of me without me asking. He even posted one on Instagram, weekend escape, something he hadn't done in months. I remember thinking, see? You're fine. You're just anxious. Then, on the drive home, his phone rang through the car speakers. Lila's name lit up the dashboard. He scrambled to turn it off, fumbling so badly he nearly swerved. Jesus, I said, grabbing the door handle. Careful. Sorry, he muttered. His face was flushed. Why didn't you answer? I asked. He didn't look at me. Didn't want work stuff to ruin the vibe. Something about that felt wrong, but I swallowed it. That night, I lay awake next to him, listening to his breathing, replaying the way his hands had shaken. I started noticing patterns after that. He angled his phone away from me when he texted. He took calls outside. He got defensive when I asked simple questions. Once, I jokingly said, should I be jealous of Lila? He laughed, but it was hollow. Don't flatter yourself. That hurt more than if he'd gotten angry. Around that time, my best friend Mia started picking up on it too. She'd known Ethan almost as long as I had, and she was never one to sugarcoat. He talks to you like he's annoyed you exist sometimes, she said one afternoon while we sat on my couch, wine glasses balanced on our knees. He's just stressed, I said automatically. She raised an eyebrow. You always say that. I know him, I insisted. He wouldn't cheat on me. Mia didn't argue. She just looked at me in a way that made my stomach twist. He makes jokes at your expense, she said quietly. That's not stress. That's disrespect. I didn't want to hear it. The real shift happened the night Ethan forgot my birthday dinner. Not forgot entirely. Just deprioritized. We had reservations. A nice place. I'd been looking forward to it for weeks. At 7:30, I was dressed, makeup done, waiting. At 8, I texted him. You okay? No response. At 8:30, he called. I'm so sorry, he said, breathless. We got pulled into this last-minute thing at work. I completely lost track of time. I stared at my reflection in the mirror, lipstick already starting to feel ridiculous. It's my birthday, I said. I know, he replied quickly. I'll make it up to you. I promise. Are you still at the office? I asked. There was a pause. Yeah, he said. I believed him. Because I wanted to. He came home close to midnight with flowers from a gas station and a bottle of wine I didn't even like. I'm the worst, he joked, leaning in for a kiss. I didn't laugh. The next morning, as he showered, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. Lila M. Worth it though. My hands started shaking. I didn't open the message. I didn't need to. When he came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, humming like nothing in the world was wrong, I realized something had shifted inside me. Trust wasn't gone yet. But it was cracking. And the scariest part? He didn't even seem careful anymore. That was the moment I decided, not to confront him, not to accuse him, but to start paying attention. Because whatever was happening, whatever he thought he was hiding, he was getting sloppy. And I had a feeling the truth was already much closer than I realized. Update 2, Discovery, Mockery, and Silent Revenge. Once you notice the cracks, you can't unsee them. That's the cruel part. After the birthday incident, I didn't cry. Not immediately. I felt hollow. Like something heavy had settled in my chest and decided to live there. Ethan went about his days like nothing had changed. Still kissed me goodbye. Still asked what I wanted for dinner. Still complained about work. But there was a new edge to him now. Sharper. Meaner. He stopped pretending to hide his phone around me. Instead, he'd smirk when I glanced at it, like he wanted me to notice. Like it amused him. One evening, we were sitting on opposite ends of the couch. I was scrolling through my laptop, half watching some show. He was texting, thumbs moving fast. I glanced over. You seem busy. He didn't look up. Yeah. With Lila? I asked, keeping my tone neutral. He finally turned his head, eyebrow raised. Why? You jealous? No, I said honestly. Just asking. He laughed, a short, dismissive sound. Relax. She's just more fun to talk to than most people here. Here. Like I wasn't included in that word. I stared at him. That's kind of a shitty thing to say. He shrugged. You're being dramatic again. That word. Again. I excused myself to the bathroom and locked the door, gripping the sink until my knuckles went white. I stared at my reflection, trying to reconcile the man I thought I knew with the one slowly revealing himself. That night, I made a decision. If he was lying to me, I wasn't going to beg for the truth. I was going to find it. I didn't snoop right away. I waited. I watched. I listened. Patterns emerged quickly when I stopped trusting his words and started trusting his behavior. Late nights increased. Weekend work emergencies. New clothes. More cologne. He started going to the gym religiously, suddenly obsessed with protein shakes and mirror selfies he never sent me. One night, while he slept beside me, his phone buzzed. I didn't touch it. Instead, I memorized the time. 2:17 a.m. No work emergency texts at 2:17 a.m. The next morning, I casually asked, "Who texted you last night?" He didn't even hesitate. Group chat. The guys. He lied too easily. A week later, Mia came over again. I hadn't told her about the birthday text yet. I didn't want to say it out loud, like that would make it real. But she could tell something was wrong. You look like you're bracing for impact, she said. So I told her. Everything. She listened quietly, jaw tightening more with every detail. He's cheating, she said flatly when I finished. I don't have proof, I replied. You don't need proof to know someone's treating you like crap, she said. But if you want it, you'll find it. The universe, apparently, agreed. It happened on a Thursday. Ethan came home early for once, unusually upbeat. Change of plans, he announced. Team dinner tonight. Last minute thing. I nodded. Where? He hesitated. Downtown. Some new place. What's it called? I asked. Why the interrogation? He snapped. I raised my hands. Just curious. He grabbed his jacket. Don't wait up. As soon as the door closed, my phone buzzed. Mia. Guess who just texted me? Lila. My heart dropped. She DM'd me on Instagram. Asked if I knew you. My pulse roared in my ears. She thought I was single, Mia added. I didn't respond right away. My hands were shaking too badly. Instead, I opened Instagram. And there it was. A story Ethan had posted 30 minutes earlier. Dim lighting. Wine glasses. A woman's laugh in the background. Tagged location, the exact restaurant he'd mentioned. Mia sent another message. She says Ethan told her you broke up months ago. That was it. Something in me went very, very quiet. I grabbed my keys. The restaurant was packed. Loud. Warm. Romantic. I spotted them immediately. Ethan was leaning back in his chair, arms slung casually over the back of her seat. Lila was laughing, hand resting on his thigh like it belonged there. I stood there, unseen, watching them like they were characters in a show I'd somehow wandered into. He leaned in and whispered something. She laughed again, then kissed him. Not a quick peck. A comfortable kiss. Like they'd done it 100 times. I turned and walked out before either of them could see me. I sat in my car for almost an hour, staring at nothing. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I felt resolved. When Ethan came home that night, I was in bed, pretending to sleep. He slid in beside me, smelling like her perfume. Hey, he whispered. I didn't respond. The next morning, I acted normal. I made coffee. I asked about his team dinner. I kissed him goodbye. And I started planning. I checked our shared accounts. Our lease. Our finances. I screenshotted everything. Text came easier than I expected once I knew what I was looking for. He wasn't careful. He didn't think he had to be. Lila's name was saved under a nickname. The messages were worse than I imagined. Mocking. Cruel. Screenshots of my Instagram posts, with commentary. She still thinks we're endgame. I swear she'd apologize if I cheated right in front of her. My hands shook as I read. But I kept going. Because anger is fuel if you don't let it burn you alive. I started responding differently to Ethan. Less affection. More distance. He noticed. You've been weird lately, he said one night. I shrugged. Just tired. He smirked. Don't get insecure on me now. I looked him straight in the eye. Why? Afraid I'll find something? He laughed. You wouldn't do anything about it even if you did. That was the moment I knew. He didn't just cheat. He thought I was weak. And he had no idea what was coming next. Update 3. Final reckoning. People think revenge is loud. Screaming. Throwing things. Public scenes. Slaps across faces in crowded rooms. That's what Ethan expected from me. That's why what actually happened destroyed him. After the night he told me I wouldn't do anything about it, I slept better than I had in weeks. Not because I was at peace, but because my mind was finally clear. The confusion was gone. The self-doubt was gone. I knew exactly who he was. And I knew exactly how to end it. The first thing I did was stop reacting. No more questioning. No more tension. No more visible hurt. I laughed at his jokes again. I asked about his day. I touched his arm when I passed him in the kitchen. I even initiated sex once, just to watch the way his confidence swelled, the way he mistook my calm for submission. Narcissists are predictable like that. They mistake silence for surrender. Meanwhile, I moved quietly. I scheduled a meeting with our landlord to discuss hypothetical lease changes. I confirmed my name was the only one on our joint savings account. Ethan had insisted on that early on, claiming it was simpler. I smiled thinking about that. I backed up every screenshot. Every text. Every photo. Every voice memo. Including one where he laughed and said, "She's convenient." That's it. Lila's exciting. You don't marry exciting. I sent that one to myself 3 times, just in case. Mia was the only one who knew what I was doing. She didn't push. She didn't rush me. She just said, "Tell me when," and stood by. The opportunity came faster than I expected. Ethan's company announced a big quarterly event. Open bar. Partners. Family invited? He told me about it casually while scrolling his phone. You should come, he said. It'll be good for appearances. Appearances. I smiled. I'd love to. He didn't even hesitate. The night of the event, I wore the red dress Ethan used to love. The one he once said made men stare. This time, I hoped they would. Lila was there. I spotted her before Ethan did, standing near the bar, sleek black dress, hand resting possessively on his co-worker's arm while she scanned the room like she owned it. When her eyes landed on Ethan and me, her smile faltered. Confusion flashed across her face. Then calculation. Ethan stiffened beside me. I felt it. His hand tightened on my lower back. Babe, he murmured, low. We should talk later. I tilted my head. About what? Just later, he said, already sweating. We mingled. I laughed. I charmed his coworkers. I let Ethan introduce me as his girlfriend, watched Lila's expression darken every time he said the word. Halfway through the night, I excused myself and walked straight up to her. Hi, I said brightly. I'm Ethan's girlfriend. Her face went pale. He said you broke up, she stammered. Oh, I replied. That's funny. He told me you were just a coworker. Her eyes flicked to Ethan across the room. Rage replaced shock. Is this a joke? She snapped. No, I said calmly. But if you want proof, I have plenty. I didn't show her the screenshots. I didn't need to. The realization hit her all at once, that she wasn't special, that she wasn't chosen, that she was just another prop in his ego. She laughed bitterly. Wow. He really played both of us. Yes, I agreed. But only one of us knew the rules. She stormed off toward Ethan. That's when I stepped onto the small stage near the DJ booth. The microphone was unattended. I took it. The feedback screeched. Conversations died down. Music cut. Ethan turned, eyes widening in horror. Hi, I said, my voice steady. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to clear something up. I looked directly at Ethan. You told your coworkers I was insecure. You told your mistress I didn't exist. You told me you were loyal. Murmurs rippled through the room. I lived with you. I trusted you. And you mocked me for it. I pulled out my phone. And since honesty seems difficult for you, I thought I'd help. I played the audio. His voice echoed through the room. She'd apologize if I cheated right in front of her. Gasps. Whispers. Someone laughed, sharp and disbelieving. Ethan lunged for the stage. Turn it off, he hissed. I stepped back. You don't get to control the narrative anymore. Security moved in. His boss looked like he wanted to crawl out of his skin. I handed the mic back and walked out. I didn't look back. When I got home, Ethan was already there. He was frantic. What the hell was that? He shouted. Do you have any idea what you just did? Yes, I said calmly. I told the truth. You humiliated me, he snapped. I met his eyes. You humiliated yourself. He laughed, sharp and ugly. You think this makes you strong? You're still the girl who stayed. No, I replied. I'm the woman who left. I handed him a folder. Inside, printed screenshots, a notice from the landlord, and a withdrawal confirmation from our joint savings. You have 30 days, I said. Then you're gone. His face crumpled, not in remorse, but in panic. You won't survive without me, he spat. I smiled. You already taught me how. He left 2 weeks later. His reputation followed him. So did the truth. Lila blocked him. His job restructured. His friends stopped answering. As for me? I slept. I healed. I laughed again. And every time I remember the look on his face when he realized I wasn't weak. I smile. Because he cheated and mocked me. And what happened next? He found out.